Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Highly Taken podcast, the only podcast where 2 out of 3 guys will be in a car and I didn't get the memo. This is David back at you again from Tallahassee, Florida.
Christian Smith, I'm in Delaware. My boys caught me in Maryland in like 4 minutes.
Hey, Nick, back at you. Good old Jacksonville, sitting at the beach. Love the vibes. Sucked I missed last week, but, you know, it is what it is. But this will be a good episode.
Yeah, it'll be such a great episode. Nick's audio quality is that of like the 1984 right now. But, I mean, as long as we can hear him, that's all that matters right now.
He sounds like somebody called in and not WIP.
Yeah, somebody called it. Dude, somebody's calling to the freaking, was it the Feinbaum show right now, trying to give us hot takes on the SEC. But I guess
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I guess it's the weekend, so gone in 6 seconds. I was ill prepared this week, so I guess I'll have to go on and rant about something this week. And how about we start ranting about some of these snubs we have in the Pro Bowl this week? I think it's absolutely crazy how many people missed starting spots. I think one of the biggest ones for me, Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't even named a starter for the NFC. That's absolutely crazy. Breece Hall. I feel like Breece Hall was a top 4 back this year. I feel like he was snubbed. Josh Allen did not make the AFC Pro Bowl's top 3 at all. So there's a lot of like good players out there. I feel like we're decently snubbed. I wish Jake Elliott would have gotten the starting spot there, but I can't say that he got snubbed because Aubrey hasn't missed a kick this year for the Cowboys. But what about you guys? Who are your guys' snubs right now for the All-Star game? Not All-Star game, for Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm surprised Josh Allen, and then I'm also surprised with Amon. That's kind of nuts to me.
Yeah, I feel like not putting Amon-Ra in there is real disrespectful. I mean, that is a guy who, in my opinion, that's a top 7 caliber wide receiver in the league without a doubt.
Yeah, it also sucks because I swear like a week or two ago I was hearing that Blankenship was like the #1 vote getter for safeties, and he didn't even get a spot at all. So it makes you wonder like if they really go by fan voting or not, or if like there's another factor involved in the voting.
Yeah, it's called politics, bro. It's who you are, what your name is. Patrick Mahomes made the damn Pro Bowl as a starter this year. That guy sucks.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's stupid. It's a popularity contest nowadays, like Christian said. There's nothing. To be fair, I don't even watch the Pro Bowl anymore. It's not even fun. Like it's just
nobody watches.
It's just a big. It's like it's not even a Pro Bowl anymore. They barely play games. A flag football game now. They play dodgeball. Yeah. That's the only like interesting part about the whole entire Pro Bowl weekend. Pro Bowl weekends would be so much fun. They used to do it after the Super Bowl. And they'd have, like, because it was after the Super Bowl, all the big talents were there. They were in Hawaii. They'd have the skill challenges. I mean, I have recollections of, Chad Jocinko, Steve Smith Sr. going at it in, like, the catch contest. Brett Favre, Drew Bledsoe slinging footballs as far as they can. It was actually a fun thing to watch. You'd get to see your favorite players, but now they do this whole, like, it's basically a big powwow in Orlando, and, like, a bunch of people could play dodgeball and do just a bunch of dice. It's just not fun, I feel like, anymore. I feel like it's got lazy.
It's stupid. Well, I only have a little bit of time. I have less than 30 minutes, guys, and I have to log off in here. So I just want to talk about it real quick. I'm telling you right now, because you guys are going to bring it up later, and you're probably going to talk about it. So, Bills are beating the Dolphins this week, and the Bills will be the #1 seed in the NFC or the AFC East. It's going to be mind-blowing, but they're going to end up getting the #1 seed. Dolphins will end up having a wild card spot.
I mean, if we're going to jump right into it, for Christian's sake, he hopes it doesn't happen. All the talk in the preseason, how good the Dolphins have been. It'd be a shame to see the Dolphins just squander that opportunity to be the first place in the AFC East this week. But I mean, I said it last week. I agree. I think that right now the Bills are one of the hottest teams in football. Nothing against the Dolphins. Tyreek, hasn't been 100% really. I'm not sure if Mostert is 100%. And they just lost Nick Chubb on the outside too. So they're without their top 2 pass rushers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this Dolphins team does. Not only this week, but even if they make it to the playoffs, how hurt that team is going to be. And now they don't have a 1 seed. They're out of the play in consecutive weeks.
Okay, Christian doesn't care. All right, cool.
I was Jeez.
What sucks is, as an Eagles fan, taking that L. Offense looked great. Offense did its job. Defense just looked terrible. And like you guys talked about it, and we've talked about it before, we've yet to see a complete game by that team. Either the offense is clicking on all cylinders or the defense is clicking on all cylinders, and it's pissing me off. I don't like it. What is nice, so obviously Nakobe Dean went on the IR twice this year. Past rules that automatically disqualified him from coming back. But this year's rules, since they put him on the IR, they just lost another spot, and he can't come back. And that defense is missing that. That defense is missing that hole, that Nakobe Dean coming in, that linebacking core, that he needs to come back to make that team actually play. They let the Cardinals run the ball down their throats all game. And I just don't know how you don't stop that. I don't get how you can't stop it and adjust. Make Kyler Murray throw the ball. He's not that good. It's not rocket science. And I never thought Patricia should have been calling the plays, and I still don't think Patricia should be calling the plays. It's stupid.
Yeah. I don't hate what you're saying there, Nick. I mean, we definitely do need that help back at linebacker. I think Dean is going to, be able to bring that presence back onto the field. However, I feel like the bigger name at linebacker that you're missing is going to be Zach Cunningham coming back now. And before he was out, I mean, the guy was playing lights out football. He was doing very well against the run, very well against the pass. He's an older veteran guy that knows what he's doing. He's been around the system. He's been a multiple Pro Bowler in Houston in his long career that he had over there. So that's going to be a bigger presence getting him back as well. And then, you add in, obviously, Nakobe Dean. Now you have 2 out of your 3 starting linebackers finally back in your rotation that you haven't had both on the field since probably about week 4 of the season. So that's going to play a huge factor. But, you're right. You can't give up 250-plus yards rushing to a team, and especially not a team like the Cardinals, man. Like, you have to be better than that. You bought into 2 stellar defensive line players in the past 2 drafts. You need more production out of both of them. You need to see a better rotation coming in. They need to get more rest. A lot of things have to be managed better, and that starts with the coaches.
Yeah, and you brought up coaches. I think one thing we harp on Johnson, we harp on the corners. I just feel like we don't harp enough on we decide. I guess he got replaced. We don't really harp much on the defensive calling. The play calling has been awful. I mean, the entire year, I feel like we've been talking about this. The Eagles will get to you at 3rd and 7 and longer than that. And for some reason, it's almost like that's 100% third down completion rate there as soon as you give them the 3rd and 7. I mean, I saw the breakdowns. For some reason, we decide on 3rd and 7 and long, these third down plays, to play zone, to play an off zone instead of pressing them and playing some man. And what they're doing is because they're sitting down at the stick and getting the first down every single time. They just run a slant or they run a sit. And they're getting every single time. And now one big thing, Slay being out, that's hurt us tremendously these past several weeks, not having Slay at corner. I mean, I feel like the games, you look at how many times they've been, like the Eagles have been up and they've been throwing these deep balls and they've been getting beat. I mean, Bradbury's been getting beat all year. I mean, you've started to see some kind of things out of Ricks and Ringo. Maybe I feel like Maddox was getting toasted last week as well, coming back from his first game for a while. You wonder how much that has to deal with that because, he still needs to get his legs underneath him being gone for a while. But this third down defense is what's causing the teams to lose. You look at the game against the Cardinals. Again, possession time. The Eagles only got like 7 possessions the entire game. They scored on 4 of those. And you have 40 minutes basically of possession time for the Cardinals and 20 minutes. The Eagles hadn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in over 24 games and allow over 200 total yards of rushing in that game. I don't know why people aren't saying about the play calling as much as they are about Brian Johnson's play calling, which that final drive, that's shoddy as well. But this defense, I don't know. We went from being the top-ranked defense like number 22 in the entire league.
Tell me it doesn't remind you of what Schwartz did, man. It's a bend don't break day. That's all I could think of. That last possession, they let Kyler Murray go down the field. Just a bend don't break defense, and that was just miserable. I will say this: it's not out of the question that the Eagles still win that division because I'm going to be honest with you. I think Washington's beating Dallas in DC. I really do because they have nothing to play for other than taking them out. You can say what you want, and I will also say someone on that Dallas team very good is going to get hurt this week because they're playing for the number 1 seed. and they're going to get hurt. Someone's going to get hurt. So just be prepared to see something like that happen. I hate to say it, but it's
No,
going
you
to
don't.
happen. Washington is
Washington
going to go out there, and they're going to win. I'm telling you, they're going to end up winning 28-24 in this game.
You can't sit here and keep saying you hate to tell us it when you always say it.
Hey, when I have a feeling, it happens. When I have a feeling, it happens.
I feel like it brings you joy at night when you lay your head down, just knowing that you're praying on a guy to get hurt.
Dude thinks he's Notre Dame, but dude's Notre Dame-ass over here. He's always going for injuries being the entire time.
Just on teams that will beat us. That's all I gotta say. All right, so I gotta get out of here, guys. So I'm gonna give you the Dubs and Chugs games. And Christian, you're gonna like this. So I'm gonna just fire them off real quick. So we got the Hawks versus the Pacers tonight.
Give me the at the Pacers.
Yeah, it's in Indiana.
Pacers.
I feel like Pacers just played a really good game against the Bucks, a really hard game. So I think there's gonna be a little bit of lull there. Give me the Hawks in this game to get a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, that's crazy. David, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I think Indiana. I think they're gonna win. Next game we got the Clippers versus the Pelicans.
Take the Clippers. Clippers are hot.
Yeah, Clippers are rolling right now, so I'm gonna pick the Clippers as well.
Did you both pick the Pelicans, or did you pick the Clippers?
We both picked the Clippers.
Oh, I'm going Pelicans at home on this one. I think the Clippers are going to lose. Next game, we got the Knicks versus the Sixers.
Give me the Sixers.
Oh, give me the Sixers and give me Embiid with a 50.
There should be whipped cream on that. Oh, sorry about that. No, that's okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's not fucking okay. Put the whipped cream on it.
I know. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you gotta take Sixers are good. They're at home. I'm going to take the Sixers for this one. Next game, we got the surprising T-Wolves versus the Rockets.
I'll take the T-Wolves.
Yeah, give me the T-Wolves. I don't know if the Rockets are doing well this season, but I just know the T-Wolves are the number one team in the West right now. They've looked so good. So give me them again.
The Rockets really aren't bad.
I mean, the Rockets aren't bad, but Timberwolves have been the most surprising team I've ever seen out of NBA. Thank you, too. I mean, they've been the most surprising team this year by far, other than the most surprising team being the best team ever and taking the losing streak from us. That was fantastic. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I'm going to take the Timberwolves in this one. Next game, we're going into football, guys. This is a very, very crazy weekend for football. We got the Texans versus the Colts.
I'll have to take the Texans. I think C.J. Stroud gets the job done.
Yeah, Texans winning, they're in. Whoever wins that game, if the Jags lose, my way, Beathard's out. They win the division, and Beathard's out. Lawrence will be out, but I'm going to pick the Texans to win this game too.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be a tough game, and normally you go with the home team here, but I think C.J. Stroud's healthy. I think with him being healthy, it doesn't matter who his receivers are. He's going to go out there and shine and do it himself. That's what we've been seeing this year. So I'm going to take the Texans to win this one and could very well win the division and get into the playoffs. Next game, again, Falcons versus Saints.
Oh, that's a tough one, but I'm going to take the Saints.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if the Falcons win and then the Bucks lose, Falcons get the division there. They have something to play for, but so do the Saints. And you know what? I'll take New Orleans in this.
Aren't the Saints fighting for that division as well?
No, maybe because Saints
they
won last week. They beat the Bucks, so they have a chance to win as well.
I think they do. So if they win, they get it. Wow, that's tough, man.
Well, Bucks have to lose too.
We have. What'd you say? They have a chance.
The Bucks have to lose.
Yeah, they have to lose.
Okay. Honestly, we haven't seen a stellar performance out of Derek Carr this year. But you know what? That's not what it's going to take here. It's going to take Taysom Hill taking them to the house and getting the Saints to win this game and possibly getting them into the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Saints. Next game, we got the Rams versus Niners.
Who's quarterbacking for the Niners? I know who's quarterbacking for the Rams.
I don't know if it would be Darnold, I guess, would be the one that's putting quarterback in that game.
Yeah, look, the Magic's back, boys. Okay, the circus act Houdini himself is back at quarterback. You know who the hell I'm picking. Give me the Rams and Carson friggin' Wentz.
Yes, give me Carson Wentz, best quarterback in Philadelphia Eagles history, best quarterback in Indianapolis Colts history, best quarterback in Washington Commanders history. Carson Wentz, he's going to take them all the way to a decent win, I guess, against the second strings for the Niners.
Blow my horn. Like, someone just pulled out in front of me, and I almost T-boned them. That was not cool. But yeah, that's the reason I picked this game. You know, you have the Carson Wentz going out there playing this game. And enough, Carson Wentz, I know, came in replacement and beat the Rams to clinch a spot for the Eagles against the Rams. Now he has a chance to go out there and ball out for the Rams. I think Carson Wentz is going to get this done. I think the Rams are going to win this game, especially if he gets the second stringer.
And Puka only needs like 40 yards to get the rookie record.
Yeah, what is Carson Wentz?
We have the sleazy, garbage, trash ownership Broncos versus the Raiders.
Yeah, hold on real quick. All right, so is the Chargers owner up there with Jim Irsay now? Because what they did to Russ was kind of – that's what I meant. What they did to Russ was kind of –
Broncos? Yeah.
I would argue he may take my spot from Jim Irsay because that's a bunch of garbage. Him and Peyton both.
Anyway, regardless of the fact, give me the Broncos.
A garbage game doesn't really matter. Give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders here.
Yeah, and that's what garbage games. The Raiders have been winning garbage games, and so I'm going to take the Raiders to win this one, guys. Then we got Bills versus the Dolphins.
Dolphins, baby, all day.
Yeah, we knew he was going to the Dolphins, and we know I'm going to take the Bills. And Nick.
And we know I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win this game. They're going to make they're hot at the right time. That's the thing. They're hot at the right time. So I don't think they're going to win this one. Tiebreaker game, we got the Browns versus the Bengals. Back player of the year out there, man.
Yeah, well, the Browns said that they're sitting everybody, though, but I'll still take them for the dub.
Browns are sitting everybody. Bengals are starting Jeff Driscoll at quarterback. You know what? I feel like the backup for the Browns is probably going to do well anyway. It's DTR. I'm pretty sure it's going to be starting, so I'm going to take the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen here, right? I don't know, but I'm going to take the Browns to win 17-13.
Yeah, and I'll take the Browns to win 21-14.
Yeah, I guess I'll take them 24-17.
I should have just cut it off right then, and you guys never had a chance. All right, I'm out of here. You guys finish the episode. Hang in tough. Again, Cowboys losing against the Redskins this week. Write it down. Brissett's going to have a great game. Enjoy it. Later.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think you have to end the podcast.
Fuck.
Oh, I can keep going. Huh.
Totally just burnt mine. Oh, hey, David.
You're still recording. I'll have to edit that out, but I'm not going to sit there and bleep every single individual curse word. So yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I can say now is we have to go into some fantasy nuts or busts because for some reason Nick didn't want to do it. I can't tell you why not. So
are there even people still playing?
I am. In one of my leagues, in the league you're in too. We are in the final week, championship week. I am currently up by 60 in the championship game right now. So I just had to not blow that. It's going to be tough. This last week of the season.
I kind of don't like that they play into the final week because you have teams that are sitting players at that point. So I kind of don't like that. Yeah.
Oh, neither do I. But that's just the auto default. So I guess if we're going to look into this game, you want to start a quarterback? I couldn't tell you who really starts. A lot of people sitting out. People aren't sitting out this week. Jalen Hurts against the Giants. Giving Jalen Hurts, he only needs 200 yards to get a 4,000 passing yard season this year. That'd be crazy for him to get 4,000 yards passing. You know, people call him a running back, but 4,000 yards, that's a pretty big staple when it comes to passing.
I think we're gonna go one
Well,
and
you
one.
you can go next. I'll let you go next. I don't know. You can go what you want. Nick's not
I
here.
think quarterback. I'm gonna go Baker against Carolina.
Mm.
You get into themselves in the playoffs. You're playing the worst team in football. They're playing for absolutely nothing except for maybe a backdoor win to push you out. But you're playing for everything to get your season to continue to push. So I'm gonna go Baker.
Yeah. We want to go running back right here. Give me Gibbs. I play against him in fantasy,
Yep.
so I hope that he doesn't go off. But they're playing a Vikings team who is also fighting for a spot. A lot needs to happen for that. But give me Gibbs there. I think right now, if the Lions were to lose that game, no, if the Lions lose that game, then I believe they're only going to get the third seed. They have no shot at the second seed. They win that game, and the Cowboys lose, they get the second seed. So that's where we're at there. Give me Gibbs. Wide receiver wise, I don't think it really matters. Not a lot of wide receivers I like to go, but he's saying Baker, so I'm going Mike Evans here. And I think Mike Evans will have a good game against the Panthers. Tight end wise, I really couldn't tell you. But give me Schultz. Give me Schultz from the Texans. They need a win here to get in the playoffs, and I think he'll be a big help in doing that.
So Schultz needs 6 catches to get a $500,000 incentive bonus.
Wow, that's a lot. 6 catches for 500. That's a lot. That's ridiculous. That's more than people's freaking. That's more than a doctor's salary just for 6 catches. If we want to start a defense here, Steelers have stuff to play for. Ravens don't. Give me the Steelers defense. I don't think the Ravens will do much. Probably sit in Lamar. Steelers need the win to get into the playoffs. So give me the Steelers defense.
I don't know who you thought you were disrespecting Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley like that, but that's a Pro Bowl quarterback that's Baltimore starting this week.
That's true. He has the same amount of Pro Bowls as Jalen Hurts does. So,
well, Jalen got 2 now. He was voted this year.
Oh, it's right because he had an alternate spot now. He's the first alternate. Yeah. Good for him. But yeah, are there any games you're interested in talking about for this week?
Nah, I feel like we've covered decent base on most of them. I know, big games are, the one we got with Miami and Buffalo. That's a big one. You got the Colts and the Houston game. That's a big one. The Falcons and Saints game could be a big one for, if the Bucs end up losing it. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend inside the NFL, and it's kind of hard to keep track of it all right now with everybody sitting and everything like that going on.
Yeah.
How many playoff spots are left open right now? Is there 3 or 4 total?
So as of right now, for playoff spots, I'll give you the rundown here. The last 2 spots are open for the AFC right now, with 4 people fighting for those spots. In the NFC, there is only 1 spot remaining. However, there are 4 people fighting for that 1 spot.
And so who's fighting for that 4th spot?
In the NFC, right now, Green Bay has it. At Green Bay, Seattle, New Orleans, they're all tied at 8-8, and then Minnesota at 7-9. The only way Minnesota gets that if they win and all 3 Packers, Seahawks, and Saints lose. And then basically, the only way to clinch, if Green Bay wins, they clinch. If Seattle wins and Green Bay loses, they clinch. If Green Bay and Seattle loses and New Orleans wins, they clinch. And if Green Bay loses, Seattle loses, New Orleans loses, and Minnesota wins, they clinch. Actually, sorry, Atlanta still has a chance too. If Atlanta wins and the Buccaneers lose, then Atlanta gets the NFC South spot. And I'm not sure how they're going to do if they were to go 8-9. I think they're eliminated if they go 8-9 and had to get a wild card spot. So I think for the only reason the Falcons can get in is if they win the division. I mean, we're looking at right now as a possible 8-9 team winning that division again. So
yeah, I mean that's how it's gonna go. But I feel like we knew that coming into the year that we would have a team with a losing record go ahead and win either that division or the AFC South, which the AFC South kind of got flipped on its head a little bit there midway through the season. It looked like it was real promising at one point, and then I don't know what the hell happened. Stroud got injured. The Colts were kind of off and on. Jags just fell off the face of the earth. Which, man, does that concern you at all, dude? With Trevor Lawrence and Dougie P and what they got going on over there?
I mean, it really does. I think a lot of it, you got to think of it this way. Ever since Christian Kirk went out with injury, they've only won 1 game. They're 1-4. And also in that span of time, Jennifer Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been hurt. pretty much every single game since then. Now, Beathard came in, they won a game. So the only game they've won without Christian Kirk was without Trevor Lawrence. So you wonder if that injury was kind of hindering that team. He wasn't able to be 100%. But, I mean, you're basically in a win or go home situation now to where they have to win this game or they cannot make the playoffs at all. They lose this game, they have no chance of making the playoffs. They have to win. They have to get the division in order to make the playoffs.
And is Trevor back this week or is he out?
That it's undecided. As of right now, it is undecided. But I mean, you could be looking at Beathard coming in. Beathard had a great week last week, but granted, they were playing the Panthers. So how much does that really show how good they can be with Beathard? Overall, I mean, I just think still they're playing the Titans this week. Even with Beathard in, I feel like they should win that game. But I don't think they're going to. I think they're almost a non-factor. I mean, they've gotten a giant skid. They're missing a lot of guys on that team. I just feel like even if they make the playoffs, whoever gets that top wild card spot will probably end up winning anyway.
I meant to tell you for fantasy, for another bust or whatever it is. Wide receiver, I got one. It's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Now it's a little bit of a bigger target, but this is why I think he'll go off. He's 8 receptions and 70 yards away from a $500,000 incentive for himself as well. So maybe we see a little quick masterclass DeAndre Hopkins game come in. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like he's had a sneakily good season this year. I forget what the stats are, but he's been playing pretty well as well. And I had him on fantasy in one of my leagues.
That's with a revolving door of quarterbacks too.
Yeah. He's had 3 different quarterbacks start this year. I think only 2. I think he's only had 2 different quarterbacks start the year, but still, they've been going back and forth.
Malik Willis didn't start the game?
I thought he did too, but I don't remember him starting a game. Maybe he did at some point earlier in the season.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, and I guess I wanted to wait till Nick in order to tell our fantasy winners, but we did have the fantasy leagues, and we did have winners in those leagues. So we have 2 winners. Would you like to tell me who the first one is, Christian?
Yeah, first one is going to be a guy that we laughed at on draft night, but went from worst to first, it seemed like, in a matter of draft day to the end of the season. Joey Mason, congratulations on your win. You're the winner here in one of our divisions.
Yeah, and in the other division, where is that team? Oh, wow. All right, in the other division, we have the team called Touchdown Syndrome, who ended up winning. And I was able to get in contact with that person to win the division. And he had this to say.
Yeah, honestly, I just thought it was way too easy to win that this year. I had absolutely the best team there. I'd like to thank my mom. I would like to thank everybody that was able to help me win the games. I thought we had really good years this year. There was some parts in there where I doubted my win, but I really appreciate all that was helped. And I'm so glad that I get the money because
I am the winner. Oh, you didn't see that one coming, Nick. It's me, boys. I made a I made a burner account because we didn't have enough space in that league. So I was the one who was under the name Touchdown Syndrome. I had Roll Tide 420 as the thing just to throw people off, not thinking it was me. So at some point we're going to have to do we can either make it the second place person. I feel like that's what's a little bit more fair, or we make it random because that's what we would have done if our team would have won in it. I guess we'll have to consult on that. But I did win the fantasy league in that one as Touchdown Syndrome. I went undercover and I got a dub only because the person I played against in the championship game, they forgot to put in players. I think they had Justin Herbert start. I think they had Pacheco start, and he was out. A lot of guys were missing, and I only won by 8. So it's a very, very valiant effort. I was one who won. I will not be accepting the $50 prize, and we will get that out to somebody here shortly. We'll decide on how that goes.
Yeah. Word. All right. I mean, anything else you want to touch base on, my man? I mean, I know we had a trade go down today in the MLB world. I'm not too sure what it was. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll figure it out in like 2 seconds.
I mean, I guess we can talk about this. I said earlier, Puka Nacua is about 30, 40 yards away from breaking the record for
26.
26, yeah, from breaking the most receiving yards by a rookie in NFL history. Now, say he gets this, say Stroud makes it to the playoffs. Who you got as rookie of the year there?
I mean, dude, look, here's the thing, right? Is if CJ Stroud makes it to the playoffs, that is your rookie of the year. Now, Puka Nacua is, in my opinion, on offense, the only other option that gets put there in for debate. Because he is having, he's on pace to have the greatest rookie season of a wide receiver ever had. But you got to look at it and you got to figure the value of position to a team, right? And you figure, okay, a wide receiver that can hold immense value. But this is also a wide receiver that's coming onto a team that has Matthew Stafford at quarterback, that has Cooper Kupp playing wideout. Now, granted, he was hurt for a little bit, and that's where Puka, really saw his role majorly increase, and he shined in it, and I get that. But you still had Tyler Higbee. Kyron Williams missed a couple games, but came back, and he's been playing lights out. Like, there's pieces around that team that were already good before he got there, and he played great while they weren't there and missed a couple games, but there's still all these great pieces around him. You go and look at someone like Houston. This was a 3-win team last year. This was a team that right now on pen and paper, they're coming into the year. You would have looked at it and said on pen and paper on offense, their best player would have been Dalton Schultz, in my opinion. That would have been the guy that stood out the most. Been like, okay, that's their best offensive weapon. They're a team that's about to sit here and they have a shot at winning this division and going to the playoffs with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. And with the way CJ has been playing, it's been lights out. It's been 300-yard game after 300-yard game after 300-yard game. And if they lose, it's not really on him. It's just the defense has small things they got to mix out. Or, he might have those small little hiccups, but it's going to all pan out for him. So for me, I got to say it's going to have to be CJ Stroud. I love what Puka's doing, but it's just the value of the position and what CJ has done for the Texans this year alone, that's going to be what gives him the rookie of the year.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you along that line. As much as Puka Nacua is about to have the best year of a rookie receiver of all time, give him all credit. He plays in a way better system, way better. I wouldn't say way better head coach because D'Amico's been well, but at least a way better system with a veteran quarterback with a lot of pieces around him that can take away the ball, that can take away other defenders. I mean, when you think about it, if you have a guy, if you have a solid one corner but a bad two corner, who's the one corner we playing against? You or Cup? I guess I'll have to pick their poison there. Most of the time they're going up against Cup. So you're getting these two guys. Now, like you said, he had an increased role earlier in the season, but it doesn't help, later on in the season when he did have that increased role. Also, the records are so touchy-feely nowadays. This record's been standing since like 1960, 1970 when they were playing 12 games, and he's about to have it in the 17th game of the season, which I feel like puts a little bit of a lull in there because you're like, yeah, he gets the record for most in a season, but he had to play like 5 more games than the guy who had it beforehand.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a little bit of like, like I see, yeah, but but to CJ Stroud's point, I mean, we thought the Texans were going to be last place in that division. We thought they were going to be probably a 1 or 2 drafting this year. We thought there were maybe a couple pieces away, but I mean, you had some of these wide receivers come and show up. I mean, you have people like Nick Brown, you have people like Nico Collins, Tate Dell, Noah Collins, yeah, and
Noah
Tate
Brown.
Dell come out of nowhere, and these wide receivers you didn't think were good guys. I mean, I thought Mechie was going to step up this year. But the other guys decided to come up too. You thought, like you said, we thought Schultz was going to be that guy. Heck, we thought Dameon Pierce is going to be that guy, but now he's the 2 back with Singletary taking most of the snaps.
Dude, I came into my fantasy football season and I drafted Robert Woods in the 10th round because I thought he was going to be the guy, and he hasn't found the field all damn year.
Yeah, but Stroud he's making do with what he has, and he's doing really good at it. He's doing what you can only ask a veteran quarterback to do is don't turn the ball over, get down the field and score points when you can. And he's been doing that perfectly. Like you said, stinks that the defense he has is not that good. It stinks that he had a couple games he was out because of a concussion. I mean, I think that will be a thing that could hurt him being out missing those couple of games himself. I think it should go to Stroud. I think Nacua is doing well, but I find it really hard to believe they would take that away from Stroud if he brought this Texans team with his supporting cast, with a rookie head coach to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Now, all right, now let's get on to one more controversial topic, and I feel like it's been going on, and we've talked more about it a little bit, but as it all settles down now, if you're the Bears, what are you doing in this draft and this offseason?
I think he's proved himself. I mean, you look at the games he's played this year. You can't blame Fields for the bad play calling or the lack of a running back or the lack of an offensive line. You can't blame him for your defense blowing multiple double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. We've talked about it before. They are 3 games away blowing double-digit leads in the fourth quarter from being a 10-6 playoff team right now. They would already have a playoff spot. And so you see that, you look at that and you're like, what do we need? You don't need quarterback. You need wide receiver help. I mean, DJ Moore has had a great season this year, and I think he needs somebody to pair that with him. They also need blocking. Oh, they need some blocking in there. And maybe at some point you can get a decent running back, maybe in the later rounds, or you can find one in free agency. But they just need to get pieces around Fields and then run a offense that's good with Fields. You saw it last week. They were designing run plays for Fields. It wasn't dropping back 40 times. They were designing run plays, getting him into open space.
Let me ask you then, because in your points you just made, you said they blew 3 games through the defense, and you just gave me every piece of offense that they need. No defensive help?
I mean, they definitely do need defensive help, but I think a lot of that is because you play prevent defense. Only thing prevent defense does is prevent you from winning. I mean, their defense, when you look at the defense wise, I mean, they have TJ Edwards, who's been playing really good at linebacker. They got Montez Sweat. Maybe you get somebody to plug up the middle, maybe get somebody on the other side of the ball. I just feel like their defense is doing well enough. They're not closing out games, and maybe that's on play calling. I just think you really need to get receiver. You had that one spot. If you want to trade down, you can trade down. I would just be worried that because of how Kyler's been playing the last couple of weeks of the season, you can't guarantee that the Cardinals don't go out and get Marvin Harrison Jr. and let it ride with Kyler Murray, considering how much they're paying him anyway. So, I mean, I don't think they necessarily go quarterback there.
Well, I believe the Cardinals are now sitting at the 4 or 5 spot.
With that win?
Yeah.
I think really just depends there, because I think the only way you can trade back and get some capital is if you trade back with the Patriots at this point. I was just about to say that.
I think if you're the Bears, the perfect move is trade out of the 1 to the 3, which is where New England is. Gather up, a bunch, because they're gonna take Caleb Williams. You sell it up, Caleb Williams is down the 3rd. They give you the haul. You get to the 3rd pick. You draft Marvin Harrison with the 3rd pick. And then you should probably take either best offensive lineman available at 10 or best defensive player available at 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has to be. If you can't trade back, get your guy. Get Marvin Harrison. Even if you have to waste a first overall pick, I wouldn't say waste. You have to use a first overall pick on a wide receiver, which is unheard of. Get your guy. Don't sit there and try to be analytical about it. Be like, oh, well, we could get him here if we want to. Get your guy. Get your weapon. And then, like you said, get an offensive lineman, or like you said, best defensive guy, or best defensive lineman in the draft after that. And I think that's how you go about it. I don't understand why the Fields hate is so bad. I feel like he's played good enough to where you can ride with him. Just he needs better talent around him.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, he's really sitting at the same spot as Jalen Hurts was a couple seasons ago. I think we made that point this past year as well. Is he just needs a little bit of more help around him. Like, look how Jalen Hurts was. Not saying Jalen Hurts is bad, but once he was able to get that talent around him, he's able to get more confident with the ball, more confident with his throws. And so, I mean, he's on the cusp there. I don't see why you do away with him after only this is his 3rd season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully,
I think this is his 4th. I think he's got the 5th-year option this year.
That's crazy. He's been in the league this long.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it is wild. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I feel like, I mean, is there anything else you want to touch base on, my man?
I can't, unless you have, like you said, unless you're going to talk about a trade that happened. I can't really think of anything else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't that big, the little trade that went down. Let's see here. Yeah, Giants and Mariners agree on a trade to send Robbie Ray to San Francisco for Mitch Henniger and Anthony DeScalafani. Bunch of nothings. So,
I mean, if you want to talk about it, I don't know if we're going to do the episode by that time. College football playoffs. We had a couple of games that were played.
Man, what the hell did I tell you, boys? What did I say? Michigan is in the championship. Washington got the job done against Texas because Michael Penix Jr. is the best quarterback in college football. He's going to end up going, he's going to end up going like 10th or 11th overall. And I'm telling you, every team is going to, whoever takes Caleb Williams is going to wish they took Penix. Whoever takes Drake May is going to wish they took Penix. I think Jaden Daniels might have some upside. But dude, I can't wait to watch him fall slowly in the draft to like a 10 to 15 pick, and then he's going to be the best QB in that draft.
Without giving away who I think is going to win, it's just so hard to sit here and pick Washington week in and week out. 14-0, the longest streak in college football history. 14 straight games this year where they've won by 10 or less. They have not blown out a single team they played all year, and that's why it's so hard to pick this team to win, but they're winning. And so I guess it's just, where are you in that? Like, they are winning these close games. They've won close games against teams that aren't good this year, but then they go out and win. So I don't know. Maybe the defense is not giving them enough credit. It's really hard. I mean, they let 31 points last game, let's be honest, but still, and it's really tough. And when you're winning, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, it seems like Washington just has this magic sitting around them right now, where they can just if the ball is on the defense, like if the defense is on the field for the final play of the game, they make the stand. If the offense is on the field for the final play of the game, Penix finds the way to get the job done. Like, I don't, I see what you're saying, man. Yeah, all these games are close, and they've played teams where it probably should have been a 15, 20, 25 point win. But they're just still figuring out a way to win week in, week out, and I haven't seen anything to take me against that. So that leads me to say that I'm going to take Michigan wholeheartedly, because that defense is top notch, and Penix has not seen something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll talk about more. I almost feel like we're going to get a repeat of TCU versus Georgia last year. I really do. And I guess speaking of that, obviously, FSU got beat terribly, absolutely awful. I mean, we both said it was going to be a blowout. We both said, but I thought it was going to be a 22 plus. But you go out and you break the record for the largest margin of victory in bowl history. I mean, keep in mind, Florida State had like 22, 30 people, 22, 30, I forget what the number was, opt out. Georgia only had one person opt out. And so, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks if you're Florida State. You don't really get to prove it, but even if you win, they wouldn't have proved it anyway. All I will say, though, is that Glenn had more passing yards against Georgia than Milroe had against Michigan. So, I mean,
I thought you were about to. Oh, let me ask you this one too. What do you think about Harbaugh's statement saying that McCarthy is the best Michigan quarterback to ever play?
I mean, who else did you put up there? Chad Henne? Yeah. No. No, I mean, I just feel like Tom Brady didn't really do much in college. That's the big thing. He didn't really do much in college, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I mean, it's his guy.
Oh.
But the bigger question is, where's Jim Harbaugh going to be coaching come after this Monday?
I'll tell you where he's going to be coaching. Whoever the hell drafts JJ.
Yeah, you think so? I've seen some mock drafts have him in the top 10. And there's absolutely no shot.
Dude, look, man, this is honestly without bias in it, right? No, with the talent that is in this draft, JJ is not a top 10 pick. That is without a doubt. However, I can honestly see this guy being a day one pick. He didn't get to showcase his arm and everything a whole bunch at Michigan this year, especially because the run game was so dominant. Yeah. Right. You have Blake Corum and you have Edwards in that backfield as well, which just a year ago, they were the best tandem in all of college. So that's a predominantly running team. But when it came time for McCarthy to throw the ball, McCarthy was throwing the ball well. He was throwing the ball very accurately. I don't know if he finished the year as the most accurate quarterback, but I know all the way through like week 8, he was the most accurate quarterback in college ball. Had a great QB. Like, the guy plays with a very good sense of presence. He doesn't have a selfish demeanor. He's not saying I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. He's the leader of that Michigan team, and he's not even being the star of it right now. That's all Blake Corum. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me personally, I do think JJ is a guy who, if I'm a team who is maybe quarterback needy, and you know that you can maybe trade out of a top spot and fall down, like maybe let's say Caleb Williams or Drake May was your guy, but you're sitting at like the 4 or 5 pick and you want a quarterback, you trade back, find yourself into the 16, 17, 18. Dude, get yourself something. I'm telling you, I think JJ can be a game changer for you. Maybe not a first-year starter, no. Personally, I don't like starting any rookie quarterbacks first year. I think everybody needs a year to sit. You need to learn, get a veteran guy in there, let him teach him. But come second year, come third year, like a Jordan Love type of player, dude, I think he can ball out.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of system he goes underneath. Now, for my question, what I asked, where's Jim Harbaugh going to end up? I really don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't think the Bears have fired their coach, but I think at 7-9, like 7-9, wherever they are right now, I feel like they're going to keep their coach for the long run. It'll be interesting to see what happens there with New England, with the Chargers, with the Raiders, to see where he really goes at this season. I'm not sure who else is going to be on the hot seat there. But
he's gonna go to LA to the Chargers.
You think so?
Dude, look, there's so many friggin' pieces on that defense to be the most stellar defense in football. Let's be honest. Honestly, there's so many pieces on that defense that are all Pro Bowl, all pro caliber players. And they underperformed all year this year. I guarantee you, bring a defensive-minded head coach in like Harbaugh, dude, that defense will rock out. And then you have Herbert on the other side of the ball. You know Herbert is going to be able to do his. Maybe he can find a way to bring some life back into Austin Eckler because he's shit the bed this season.
Yeah, I think that'd be the best fit. I would feel so bad for Justin Herbert if we had a situation where New England fires Belichick and Belichick ends up in LA, because Belichick does not play that style of football, not airing it out deep and stuff. Is not his style. Yeah, it'd be very interesting. I don't think he stays in Michigan. I think that's where it ends up. I don't think he stays at Michigan. Even if they lose the championship game, I think he's gone and going back to the NFL.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he goes to the 49ers.
Shanahan, out of here. Number 1 seed.
Yeah, we're bringing him back. We're bringing him back, boys.
We're bringing back Kaepernick while we're at it. Come on.
I'm just signed Kaepernick. Michael Crabtree just came out of retirement.
Frank Gore's out there somewhere. But yeah, if you don't have anything else, I think that's all I have.
Nah, I think that's about all I got too. Quick little touch. Who's your MVP leader in NBA?
NBA right now, it's Embiid. I think Embiid right now, I mean, he's the dude went out there and put up a triple-double last game. Dude, for some reason, he has like 12, 13 boards per game. He's at like 6 assists per game, 5 to 6 assists per game, and he has the most points in the league. He had a dominant December and still somehow didn't win Eastern Player of the Month. Don't know how that happens. He had all better stats than Antetokounmpo did. But I mean, I think right now I'm looking at Embiid. You get more points and minutes played, and that's all that matters to me right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think right now there's no question Embiid should be a double 2-time MVP back to back. There's just no. I mean, you look at it this way. He won the MVP last year, and I get it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I was a clown MVP." This, that, and the third, but he's only gotten better. Like he's doing better than what he was, and now he's doing it with less free throws. Now he's doing it more like just true style of play through the game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's looking good. Like I said, that team is playing a better style of ball, a lot better. I love watching them right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it will be interesting. But all right, man. I think that's gonna conclude it for us.
Yeah, next time hopefully be on Monday. If not, we're gonna force Nick to do it because he can only do 30-minute lunches now. But we have to talk about that game before it comes up on Monday. But you guys have a good weekend. We'll have some great football being played and some bad football.
We dive into the game from hoops to
I'd see you.
analyzing every play like we were the champion with
my antivirus has expired. Well, that sucks.
Highlight taking
My
pockets.
boy didn't even turn the recording off.
We drop dubs and chugs, Levin, the sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the hype, we not just blowing steam. We're known for our hot takes, blazing like fire, bringing heat to the table, never preaching to the choir. Debating on players, teams, and even strategies. We keep it real, the sugar-coated fallacies. David's on the mic, spinning knowledge of flair. He breaks down the stats with a voice smooth like air. Christian's a funny guy, bringing laughter and joy. He got the jokes unlocked and no one can destroy. Next to analysts, break down the X's and O's. He sees the game differently, like nobody knows. Together unite, forming a podcast dream team, making waves in the industry, fulfilling their schemes. Highlight taking pockets, we taking over the scene. We drop dubs and chugs, Levin, the sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the